Judge, he's on his way up. For your edification, this was a plea that we entered in front of Judge Angelini for 10 deferred.
Oh, no, I remember.
Okay, well, I'm just going to fill you in on what's going on there today.
All right, what's happening today?
So I asked the DA if he would be willing to consider the 10 deferred. He said, let me think about it. We did enter the plea fully and officially on the 4 silent. Mr. Hernandez then tells me he wants me to put it in a motion to dismiss for prejudice, and I told him there is no such thing because, you know, judges bust plea bargains all the time. That doesn't give you a right to dismiss. And so then he says, well, he wants a jury trial. And I said, well, we have entered the plea on the 4 silent, so the judge may or may not allow you to withdraw your plea. And then that's what he wants to speak to you about.
All right. All right, we can go on the record.
Yes, ma'am. I just didn't understand what I was signing. And
Excuse
She
me.
hasn't
I'm
started
sorry.
yet.
I'm sorry.
All right, and let me stop you right there. All this thing where people say they don't understand what they were signing, based upon what is the information that I've received, that first it was 10 years deferred and the judge denied it, and then it came back to a silent offer. Yeah, everybody understood. Court is calling 2023 CR 10221, State of Texas versus Joe Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
For the defense?
Suzanne Kramer.
All right, and are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, a plea was entered in this case on, let me see what date is stamped on here, on April 22nd, 2024. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishments to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine, and the state is silent on the defendant's application. All right, with regards to the plea bargain agreement, the court, of course, does not have the PSI because we're coming back. Can someone tell me what his criminal history is?
Judge, I don't have a file on the applicant.
Basically, I could be off on this, but my memory is some minor misdemeanors and no felony convictions.
Mhm. So counsel, do you wish to have a PSI done, or do you wish the court to make its ruling?
Honestly, Judge, based on his criminal history, and of course, you don't have the benefit of the interview with him, but Mr. Delgado and Escobar and I can fill you in on part of the, I think it was part of this plea bargain too, was evaluation for Mick. There are definitely some mental health issues going on. You can tell by reading the report, but you do not have the benefit of having that in front of you. But I do feel confident, of course, it's up to him, to go forward today.
All right. So I am reading the police report, and based upon the police report that I've read that are in the stipulation, there is documentation of bizarre behavior. And I don't know, based upon the police report, if that bizarre behavior was drug induced or if there's some sort of mental health issues.
Which is why I think we had dual, right, with Mick, or was it just Mick?
I'm making yes, that was.
I mean, based on my time, and certainly I'm not an expert in any way, but I would tend to think it might have been both, but definitely some mental health issues.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Joe Hernandez.
All right, so Mr. Hernandez, have you ever been diagnosed with any type of mental health issues?
No, ma'am.
All right, not even in your childhood?
No, ma'am.
Drug use?
No, ma'am.
You're telling me you never used any drugs?
No. I'm an alcoholic, yes. I drink, but that's it.
All right, so in the stipulation, they're saying that you were exhibiting bizarre behavior.
Somebody was trying to take my life that night, and I was just trying to save my life. I was asking for help. And I didn't want to die that night. Somebody came at my door trying to kill me.
And I did.
And I ended up at the hospital. I called the cops. She has the phone record that I called the cops asking for help. I ended up at the hotel. I did everything wrong, yes, but I was just trying to save my life that night. I didn't want to die that night. I didn't want somebody to take my life for no reason. That's the God's honest truth. And I'm here fighting this. I don't have mental issues.
Oh, I mean, if you want a jury trial, we'll give you a jury trial.
I'm 34 years old.
No, if you want a jury trial, you can have a jury trial. That's your question.
Or you can request the judge to give you deferred, and then that way you know that, you know what the end result's gonna be.
I have a right to face my accuser, Your Honor.
No, here's the thing. And this is what I don't think people understand. We can go off the record. Everybody thinks that they can be an attorney without a license. They want to throw around magic words like Jack and the Beanstalk. Oh, let me throw right to accuser, right to confront. Let me throw, I want a dismissal. The question is, do you want a jury trial? Yes or no? And let me explain something to you. If you say you want a jury trial, this train is going to a jury trial. This train is not at the last minute. Oh, I see witnesses walking in the door, so therefore I'm deciding to enter a plea bargain agreement. If you want a jury trial, court will give you a jury trial. You will get a quick, fast jury trial. So you want to discuss that with your attorney? You can. You all want to discuss that?
I'm good with the jury trial.
Do you want to discuss that with your client?
I think based on my conversation with him earlier this morning that he is, because of what happened the other day, it just took him off of pleading and he wants his jury trial.
All right, we're coming back on June 3rd.
Thank you, Judge.
And you will have your jury trial, and your plea deadline date has expired.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Just one moment.
Yeah.
And state on Mr. Hernandez, I don't know if you all need to request that the stipulations be withdrawn, or you all can duplicate your steps.
I think we could do, I think Judge, I just.
Okay. All right, thank you. 2020 CR 4520, State of Texas versus Amanda Carol Griffin. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
Assistant
Defense.
Public Defender Renee Munoz on behalf of Ms. Griffin.
And are you Miss Griffin?
I am, yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, and I did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Griffin, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I sure did.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I sure did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do so waive, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we are waiving the repeater enhancement.
Any objection?
No objection from the defense judge.
All right, Ms. Griffin, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I sure did.
Did you understand you're charged with assault, family second offense? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She sure has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Griffin, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived a right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years of the prison. State recommends community supervision. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Britlee, Britlee, Sue Griffin, and Carol Stovall, Stobaugh. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand with the affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense,
Yes, Your Honor.
state?
Yes.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be a BIC evaluation, TAP evaluation, and anger management. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State any evidence
Your Honor, we offer State's Exhibit number 1 and all attachments.
No objection. Your Honor.
showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements, police reports, and judgments? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Respectfully request that the court honor the plea bargain agreements on behalf of my client. Pretty much it, Judge.
All right. The repeat enhancement allegation that's been waived, who was the complainant in that case?
It was her mother. Yes, Judge.
All right. So, Ms. Griffin, it appears that you have an issue. What is your issue? I know everybody who comes in there has issues, right? But I don't understand the violence against family members.
Yeah, the relationship with my mom and dad wasn't the best growing up.
Why not?
Um, they abandoned me.
Okay. All right. So how old are you?
40.
All right. At some point in time, you're going to have to address those issues because whatever trauma you have in the past, whatever you feel like your parents didn't do, because nobody's given a parenting book, and some people have horrible parents. They do. That's a fact. But you cannot continue on the vein that you're continuing on because maybe your parents were not the best of parents.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative.
All right. And are there any alcohol issues with you?
Absolutely not.
Are you employed?
Not currently, no, ma'am.
So how do you support yourself?
I've been just kind of, I am employed. I'm a delivery driver for Grubhub and
Mhm.
DoorDash right now, and a few other delivery companies. It's kind of touch and go with like my vehicle, and I have 3 dogs that, they're my life, they're my family, so. I just got approved for housing with Opportunity Home, and I went down and filled out the paperwork for that, for the secondary, I guess, application there.
Mhm.
About 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. They told me it would be about 2 to 3 months before I was contacted to get in somewhere. So currently I'm trying to,
So where are you living now? And when I say living, do you have a place to stay?
I stay with a friend or in my vehicle.
Okay. And do you have any children?
I do, but they're grown.
Oh, how old are they?
Well, my youngest is 16, but he's with my mother. And the next one is 18, and then
All right.
Britley is 21, and then I have
Why is the 16-year-old with your mother?
because he didn't want to come back and live with me at my house before I got evicted, because I made him follow the rules. He wanted to go to my mom's when he got kicked out of school up in Comal County,
Mhm.
because he gets everything that he wants over there. He doesn't. and have to follow the rules and stuff like that. So
There's something going on here. I don't know what's going on here, but there are some issues. And I'm trying to figure out what those issues are. Have you ever had a mental health diagnosis?
yes, ma'am, I sure have.
All right, and
Yes, ma'am.
what is that?
It was bipolar 2, agoraphobia, PTSD.
All right, so are you under a doctor's care
I
currently?
am not. I went to CSCD, I guess.
CSCH.
CSCH, yeah. And when I was released from prison in 2020, and they told me that I didn't qualify, I didn't need services
All
at
right.
that time.
I think
So
she needs some services. Yes,
y-
counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. That's why in the plea bargain agreements, it's my understanding that it should be supervised under the MIC caseload and be coordinated, set up with CHCS for reevaluation, diagnosis, possible medication.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. As previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 6 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Britley, Britlee, Sue Griffin, or Carolyn, CAROLYN, Stobauh, STOBAUH. There's going to be a MIC evaluation, anger management. I'm going to want a TAP evaluation. Follow the recommendations of TAP, but if TAP wants inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. Go ahead and do a referral to Center for Healthcare Services. I'm going to want a UA today. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. Parenting classes. 200 hours of community service restitution. Once parenting classes are completed, that will be deemed satisfied. Proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month. And that'll be until she is placed either on the MIC caseload or has a mental health case manager. After that has been completed, then probation, you can do field visits that you deem necessary. And if they could also help her with housing. Probation, is there anything else?
Your Honor, you said you wanted a UA today. Is that before the courtroom?
Yes. All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
no, thank you for the housing.
You're welcome. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction and also an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Everybody, I don't know anybody who grew up with Mary Poppins as their parent. Everybody always has some issues with their parents. Some of us have more issues with our parents than others. Some of us have horrible parents. Some of us have good parents, but we just go astray. I don't know what the issue is with your family, but the fact that your son is living with your mom tells me that there are some issues. You're not to have any contact with those family members. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If later down the line, if they want to have contact with you because they see that things are going well, it would probably be best for you and your family members to be able to sit down and calmly have a objective third party, probably a therapist, to see if there can be any repairs to your relationship. Because at some point in time, you're responsible for all of your actions, right? And you can't continue to blame abandonment issues on your actions.
You're right. Yes,
All right.
yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor. Maybe
Yes, you may be excused.
Thank you.